Sonic Colors is a dumpster fire of a game. Still, I'll get every achievement in my journey to get 100% in every Sonic game on Steam. Sonic Colors, in my opinion, is worse than Forces. I know, put the pitchforks down. Sonic Forces is still a terrible game. However, Sonic Colors is unique, to say the least. It's the first to introduce the Wisps, which stayed around longer than they were welcomed. Wisps are power-ups that are used to complete levels and bosses. Sonic Colors has 47 achievements that I need to collect, with many being unlocked for collecting red rings and S ranks. So let's go! Sonic starts inside the Tropical Resort, which is part of Eggman's new galactic theme park, which isn't a cover for some illegal alien experimenting. Now, you may think my first achievement would be like killing a certain amount of enemies. No, my first achievement was for breaking every number on the scoreboard at the end of a level. The level in question was a bonus section where you get Chaos Emeralds, but that's for a later time. The next act has me super speed to an A+ rank, which makes me an A student. I then made some omelets by killing 50 and 100 eggheads during acts 3 and 5. Breaking Eggman's toys, he gets angry and summons a Jester Ferris wheel, and I destroy it in 2 hits. It must have been made out of some tin cans. After the boss fight, Tropical Resort is completed, but all I got was a souvenir t-shirt. The second zone is Candy Mountain, where I unlock the Rocket and Drill Wisps, which are my second and third favorite wisps in the entire game. This zone is a fun concept, however the levels themselves are slow and repetitive, which isn't good for a Sonic game. I get a sweet achievement for scrambling 100 egg robots with a perfect homing attack, since there's a difference. Anyway, the main problem I have with this game is the cringy cutscenes, so for my own sanity, I skip the rest of the cutscenes from now on. The boss fight is against Captain Jelly. There was an achievement for killing Jelly in 2 hits, but I didn't get it. This time, however, the fight isn't complicated. You flick the lever at the back of the ship, crashing it, and you whack the captain on the head. And that's the end of Candyopolis. What a rush. A sugar rush. Starlight Carnival is the next zone I have to complete, and I believe that this is the worst zone in the entire game. It sucks, and that's not up for debate, it's a fact. The wisps I unlock is the cube, where you invert blocks to use as platforms, which comes in handy. The second one is hover, where you hover. Duh. At this point in the campaign, the game devs must have gotten bored, as this level was just a long, straight, running section where you boost your way to the end. During this section, I got enough score by sidestepping, which was 100,000 points. Although I still didn't get an S rank. I have to S rank every stage, but that's a future me problem. Now during this stage, where you bounce a lot, I noticed that I kept slipping off the edge, so Sonic must have been wearing sticks of butter for shoes. But I bounced my way to collecting 300 rings in one run. What a precious achievement. Now for the boss, it was against a giant ship. You get to use the laser wisps to shoot through the cargo and detonate the bombs. Overall, the boss is easy, but I wonder what happened at that Starlight Carnival. Planet Wisp is up next. However, there's not much in this zone. I do unlock the spikes, which is a cool wisps to have, as you can traverse around any terrain. The levels make good use of the hover ability, as there were many open areas to fly around. I do feel like this is where the levels turn from quick and fun to long and tedious. Eggman even recycles the same boss from the first zone, and I get the 2-hit achievement using the newfound spikes. I even get my first S rank in the game, which was splendid work. This also led to the completion of Planet Wisp, where I released the wisps from captivity, setting them free. So that's 3 achievements I got from this zone right at the very end. And at this point on, they recycle every other boss, from Captain Jelly to the spaceship pirate guy. Wet and Wild is the next zone that I sped my way through, and I replayed some old levels for a quick achievement where I beat my old record. Take that, me, you loser. Aquarium Park has water. What a surprise. And the boss is submerged in it. Captain Tuna is his name, and he's the next repeated robot that I have to send to the scrapyard. And I don't know what happened, but this fight was unbelievably hard. For no reason than me just being bad. It took me over 6 minutes to find my brain and not be stupid enough to kick his ass. I deserve that D rank, although I did get a bucket of sushi as an achievement. Last but not least, my favorite zone, Asteroid Coaster, where I get to do 2 things. Ride a roller coaster and traverse space itself without any gear. It is also home to my favorite wisp of all time, Frenzy. She has some anger issues, but it's fine. Munching on some delicious protein, I get to a level that is just a boost to win. You run around a loop until you press a lever that ends the level, but if you're as dumb as I am, you get stuck trying to figure that out. I got stuck long enough that I collected the 5 red star rings, which is the collectible that I would need 180 of in total. I did this in one run, which let me 2 achievements, reach for the stars and the complete set. Moving on to the boss, I have to take down another spaceship that looks like a skeleton of despair. The repeated fight is the same, so after a while of bashing my fragile hedgehog body into the ship, it goes down into the empty abyss of space, never to be seen again. Sonic has now conquered zero gravity. What a thrilling ride. Eggman isn't too pleased with his mechs being destroyed, so he releases his biggest robot, which uses the Wisps as a power source. In my opinion, this is one of the best end bosses that I've ever fought in a Sonic game. I like the Wisp attack and combos that the Egghead did, but the closer I look, the more I realize how similar this fight was. It's the boss from Sonic Forces! The more you advance in the fight, the more wisps you release from Eggman's grasp, until eventually I save every one of them, and I use the ultimate attack where I gather them all up and blast through the tin can, which blows up the entire thing. Once the boss is defeated, you instantly get loaded into the next stage, where you have to run from a black hole that was forming. Sonic gets trapped, so Yakka and the crew saves his ass. But more importantly, I found out where all the budget went. The final cutscene finishes and the credits start to roll, and for an achievement I have to watch the full thing. It's annoying, but whatever, it can't be that bad. The credits are 13 minutes long. What the fuck? One dog walk later, the credits finished and I got my achievement, but it wasn't recorded. With the main game now finished, I can move on to the next step, which is the collectibles, and 100%ing every area in the game. Starting at the Tropical Resort, I went through every level collecting the 5 red star rings in each, collecting a total of 30 for the No Ring Left Behind achievement. Before fully completing the zone by doing the Rival Rush and getting the S ranks, I went after all the bosses' S ranks. This is where I detoured to the outer space fight. This time, with my profound knowledge, I was successful in my adventure and got the achievement for crashing the party barge. I then moved on to Candyopolis instead of finishing Tropical Resort. Don't ask me why, I don't even know. What I do know is that I sucked enough to get a D rank, and breaking the score would get me the simple achievement breaking rank. I then finished up Candyopolis and got the taste of perfection because of it. Soon after, I went back and got the last 5% in Tropical Resort, and now I can relax. Remember those bosses that needed special requirements to get achievements? I went after those next. Captain Jelly was easy, it needed me to wait and then drill him from behind, getting me his 2-hit achievement. Captain Tuna is similar, and I drilled him from the front and 2-tapped him. The final mini-boss, Frigid Sulks, needed me to get an S rank, which was easy if you're an epic gamer like me, and if you collected enough red rings you get access to the Game Land, where I can get Chaos Emeralds. Collecting 7 unlocks the Super Sonic, so I grabbed my first one, the Green Emerald, which unlocks me the Going Green achievement. I then had to complete the worst zone, Starlight Carnival, and got enough red rings to get my second emerald from the game, being the yellow one, getting me the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. In Planet Wisp, I then again got the required amount of red rings and sped through the arcade level, and I got the silver emerald. Right after, I fully completed Planet Wisp, which was much more fun than I actually thought. But now I only have 2 zones left to fully complete and a couple more emeralds to get. Aquarium Park allowed me to gain access to the next stage in the Game Land, and upon completion, I got the big red rock known as the Red Chaos Emerald. I then soaked in my excellence by completing the Rival Rush in S ranks in the second best zone, Aqua Park. The same thing happened with Asteroid Coaster, where I collected enough red rings to get the best emerald, the purple one, making me royalty now. I'm officially a drama queen. I then miraculously got the last red ring to finish off the Red Ring collectibles, making me a Sonic superstar. This also unlocked the last levels in the arcade mode, meaning I blasted Mach speed, grabbing the Blew Me Away Emerald, and what's a Cyan Emerald? That concludes the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and for my amazing work, I get access to Supersonic. This version works a little bit differently, as I can't use the Wisp powers, and collecting 50 rings in a stage allows me to transform Super Saiyan style, destroying anything in my way, and beating the final rival rush completes my favorite zone, and now I'm an Interstellar Coaster Crusher. The last remaining achievements I have to get requires me to finish the final boss and get an S rank. This was easier than I would have anticipated. To get an S rank, the main point is to not die, very important advice, and to go fast, which is Sonic's main motto. Completing these objectives gets me 2 achievements, spinning the negative and running the gauntlet. I then had to complete a level without touching any rings. Tropical Resort Act 2 is a perfect place to do this, as there are many open areas which makes it easy to avoid rings like the plague. Doing this challenge is apparently harder than you think. Now, for the achievement Long Haul, you have to complete the challenge mode, which is all 45 acts back to back without any break. At this point, I had already played every level twice, so another time was agitating. But remember, I'm a supersonic gamer, and I completed my speedrun in about an hour and a half, with my fastest time on an act being 18 seconds. Outrunning the black hole at the end, I finish my run and get the Long Haul achievement, but more importantly, the big fantastic achievement for getting every achievement in Sonic Colors. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see my Sonic Forces or my Sonic Superstars 100% achievement videos, I'll leave them on screen now.